Today we are going to understand closure in JavaScript. So what is closure? So as per my understanding, closure is the ability of a function which give function access to the outer scope. So what it means, let's see with the help of example. Let's create a function called parent. Take a variable. I'm taking a fruit variable. Let's create another function. Let's call it child function. Inside the child function, we are simply print the value of fruit, and here we call the child function, and here we are calling the parent function, right? As we all know, when we run this function, apple is printed in the console. Let's run it. Apple is printed. So let's understand the role of closure in this example. We are printing the value of fruit, which is not present inside the child function fruit variable. As we see, we can clearly see that fruit is not present inside the child, fruit is present inside the parent function. So what I say about closure is the ability of a function. So child function has the ability to access the variable of the outer scope, uh, right? So what is the outer scope? This is the parent function's scope is the outer scope for child function, and this child function can access to their variable. That's why we can see the output is apple, which is the value of fruit. Let's take another example and improve our understanding of closure. So we are creating a function called add, and add function has a parameter of x, and this function will return another inner function, and this inner function has a y parameter, and this inner function will return addition of x plus y. When we call add function with any value, let's take 2. So what it does, it will return this inner function. As you see, this add function will return this inner function, right? So we are just taking another variable for storing that inner function. So inside add more, we have inner function, this inner function, right? And when we console.log and call the add more function, because add more now have the inner function, so we can call it with some value. Let's take 8, and when we run this code, we get 10. So how we get 10? Because first at this line we are calling add function with value of 2, so this function will be executed and it will return with another function, which is an inner function. So what it does, so closure not only not only access the outer function scope, it remembers the value of the outer scope. So x is the variable which is present in the outer scope of this function, so it remember the value of x. That's why it will successfully return the sum of this x plus y, which is 10. So let's improve our definition. So now our definition of the closure is become: closure is the ability of a function which give access of the outer function or outer scope, also it remember the variable which is present in that outer scope. Okay, let's take another example. So we have a loop, and inside this loop we are just calling set timeout. We are setting set timeout function, and we have 100 millisecond, and inside the set time out inside the set time out we have a callback function. Inside the callback function we are just consoling the value of I, and let's run this code. So the output of this code is 333. As we know, this loop will run three times, so this loop print the value of I three times, but instead of 012 this print 333. Why? Because closure is not only give give us access of the outer scope and remember the value, but it also remember the live reference of that particular variable. So in this case we have I variable. So what was the last value of I? When the loop is done with their execution, the last value of I will be 3, because 3 is not less than 3. At this time our loop is break. That's why when this timer is uh, complete, our console log will be printed 3 times with the updated value of I. That's why we can say that closure is the ability of a function. Sorry, closure gives gi- closure gives the function a ability to access the outer scope variables and remember its live reference, right? So this is the closure. We are just seeing the three small example and how it is work. So for some another day we are seeing some other real case scenario where closure are used, and see some example where we can use closure. So this is for today guys. Thank you for watching.